请两位委员做自我介绍。
谢谢主持人。
Now please
各
introduce
位记者
yourselves.
朋友们，大
Thank
家
you.
好，我是来自
Good
文
afternoon
化艺术
to
界
your
的
journalists.
中央音乐学院杨琴教授，
I'm
我是声
from
导
the
师，
cultural
音乐孔
sector.
子
I'm
学院
from
办
the
公室。
Central Academy of Music. My name is Yang Qin. I'm a professor. I'm also the director of
93学社中央委员，
music education. I'm also the chairperson of
高兴跟大家在这里交流。
European Overseas Students Academy, and it's a great pleasure for me to be here with all of you. Good afternoon. I'm from the People's Revolution Army, People's Revolution Party. I'm also its deputy chairperson. Now the floor is open. Thank you. I'm with People's Daily and its websites. Good afternoon, Mr. Feng. And on March the 4th, President Xi Jinping visited the delegation from the cultural sector. He also made the important remarks. In addition to being a cultural practitioner, you are also the vice chairperson of People's Revolution Party. I want to ask you, what is your observation about President Xi Jinping's remarks on March the 4th? Thank you very much for your question. The important remarks made by President Xi Jinping truly inspired all of us. His remarks were a very important guidance for our work in a new era. We as cultural practitioners, we are more aware of our responsibilities. As you have introduced in your question, I'm also the chairperson of China's Cultural Practitioners Association. We are a major part of our society. In recent years, we have been bringing happiness and our productions to the rural areas, and we have engaged in poverty alleviation through arts and culture. We have pushed ourselves to the countryside, to minority ethnic groups, and last June we went to the Kerching grassland, and we saw that each and every household, they have 2 sheep and 1 cow, and they are rushing to prosperity with those livestock, and so we are very happy to see that they are getting out of poverty. And when we perform outdoor in a very cold temperature, we had 400 audience who are farmers. They are wearing their traditional costumes, and they are singing the most original Obao rendezvous. And we truly felt that this is a lovely and warm gathering. And also at one of the starting points of the Maritime Silk Road in Fujian's village, that when we entered the village, we were welcomed by the vehicle drum dance. We later learned that this drum dance had the history of 700 years. So we are very happy to see that this fine tradition was carried out and well preserved there. We also went to Futian of Shenzhen, and when we were performing, it suddenly started to rain, but no audience left us. They were applauding for us. They were showing their respect for culture and arts. And last year, we also went to the Zhongkai Farmers Zhongkai School in Guangzhou, and we were interacting with a lot of audience, and we were truly inspired that those audience, they are very much looking forward into a prosperous future. So each time we go to the grassroots of the society, we feel that our people, they need arts, and arts also need the general mass. So we will have to further push ourselves to the grassroots of the society. Only by doing so can we produce a lot of classic artistic works, and can we meet the expectations of the people for a better life. Now the next question, please.
谢谢主持人，我是中央广播电视总台国广记者。我的问题是提给刘月宁委员的。
Thank you very much. I'm with China Media Group. My question is directed to Ms. Liu, and you are a violin expert, and now a lot of the Chinese are getting familiar with the symphony in overseas. How well do those foreigners know about Chinese music? Thank you for your question. One of the things we are doing is to cultivate foreign experts of Chinese music, and each and every year we organize a lot of music summer camps. And with only 5 classes, we can train some basic skills for foreigners. And let me give you some examples how well we are doing. In Canada, there is a graduate called Matt. He has been in China for 3 years, learning flute and many other types of Chinese music instruments. And when he returned to Canada, he has formed a Chinese band, which was very popular in his locality. And over the 5 years, the China International Music Experience Center has cultivated 200 students from 13 countries. These students, they are scattered across the globe. They are demonstrating and sharing Chinese music to all the people in the world. And 13 years ago, when I first traveled overseas, I brought with myself the Chinese violin. And over the years, I have brought my troupe to many different countries. My observation is that they are able to appreciate Chinese music, and a lot of the foreign friends, they now understand how beautiful the Chinese music is, and each and every time we perform, we attract a huge attendance. We have a lot of fans in many different continents. I believe that the Chinese music has gone abroad, and we are expanding ourselves deeply in the life of foreigners, and our efforts are not just confined on the States. And 4 years ago, our organization worked out a bilingual music textbook series, and this is targeted for foreigners, and the textbook is called Easy Steps to Chinese Music. Last year, we published 4 textbook series, and in the next 2 years, we're going to supplement with 8 other textbooks. In each textbook, we have 4 units and 10 classes. And at the front cover of the book, we have a QR code, and you can simply scan with your cell phone and learn the music online. And a couple of years ago, it was written by Jonathan, who was from the United States, and he wanted me to give a textbook to their library. And I said, yes, of course, this is a good idea. And we are also working together with music institutes from Denmark and the United States, and some of those schools, they have opened a Chinese music course. On a basis of mutual respect, music has brought all of us closer together, and we have also harvested a lot of touching moments. And in the CPPCC annual conference, I have been proposing a lot of new ideas and opinions. I hope that Chinese music can belong to each and everyone in the whole world, and this vision will become reality in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now let's invite on stage the second batch of representatives. Good afternoon. I'm a representative from the medical field. My name is Zhang Jiajun, and I'm in the field of internal medicine. My name is Li Hongbin. I'm from the field of social sciences. I'm a lawyer from Guohao Law Firm. Now the floor is open. Good afternoon. I'm with the Farmers Daily. You are a medical expert, and you have long been committed to the development of healthcare in the countryside. Do you have some good suggestions in this aspect? Thank you for your question. Only when each and everyone is healthy can we rush into a prosperous society. Without the health of farmers, there would never be a good result. And one of the key tasks of the 19th CPC Congress is the rejuvenation of the countryside. As a CPPCC member, I have had my own observations and I have made my own efforts. As you know, that the medical reform should put the countryside as a priority. We have made a lot of efforts. We have scored enormous achievements, and which can be reflected by the county level, the township level, and also the village level. At the village level, we are building a lot of clinics. I have visited many different parts of the country, and last year, during the National Day holiday, I went to a lot of villages, and I can tell you for sure that there is a big gap between different villages. Some of the villages are very well developed. They have very sufficient infrastructure and facilities. They have clinics that can support treatment, diagnosis, and also drug inscription. But some villages, they are lagging behind, and they don't have a lot of devices and equipments, and some of the doctors, they're not treated very well at the village level. I have also visited many different towns. I went to a village with 4,000 residents. Previously, they had 3 doctors, but 2 left for a private hospital. I also went to a village with 1,600 villagers. And in that village, they transformed a kitchen, which is only 10 square meters, into a clinic. So at the front part of the clinic, they do some prescriptions. At the back part of the clinic, the doctor cook for himself and also sleep there during the nights. So we need to pay our attention to this very important phenomenon. And those doctors at the villages, they are very easily available, and they can cut a lot of unnecessary expenses. And it's very important that they stay close with the villagers. And this is very crucial also to the countryside rejuvenation. So my suggestion is that we need to build standard facilities at the village level, and the Shandong Provincial Party Committee and government attach great importance to this very important work, and it has also included this into the top priorities in 2019. And I also suggest that the government can include this job in its budgetary plans. And my third proposal is that we need to select the best candidates as village doctors. A lot of the doctors practicing their duties at the village level, they're not licensed. They're not fully qualified. So we need to have in place a very sound top-level design. Only when the villagers are healthy can the rural area in China rejuvenate. So I hope that you can all cast your attention to the countryside. Thank you very much. Now, next question, please. Thank you very much. I'm from the Legal Daily and its website. This year marks the 40th anniversary for the recovery of the legal practitioner of the law profession. So in what way do you think lawyers can play a larger role in our society? Thank you very much for your question. Let me share with you a very small case. Not long ago, I noticed that your newspaper reported a case in Jiangsu province. And the lawyer was very insistent with the case for 13 years, and it has gone through 2 adjudications, and it has cleared the wrong adjudications of a headmaster. And the headmaster, when he was cleared of his accusations, he said that I owe all this to my to my lawyer. But the lawyer said that no matter how twisted and how challenging it is, I will have to bring justice to those who are wronged. I will have to bring respect and dignity to our law.
Actually, we have millions of examples like this, and this lawyer has defended the rights and interests of the people. There's one colleague in our circle saying that what we are dealing with is not the case, but the whole life of the other people. Yes, one case may influence the marriage, the family, the future of one enterprise, and the freedom of one person. So what is the purpose of the work of the lawyer? We want to speak out for our clients to defend their rights and interests. And we should be defending the justice and equality. And we want to work together with the judiciary departments and provide the proofs. Especially, we should fight against the unjust cases. The lawyers, they are the colleagues working side by side with the departments of justice. You have mentioned that this year marks the 40th anniversary of the recovery of the system of lawyers. At one moment of the history, we had only 217 lawyers in the country. Today, we have 430,000 of them. By 2022, this figure may exceed 600,000. This year, according to the call of General Secretary Xi Jinping, we have to build up a legal service network that can cover every corner of our sectors and the country. Lawyers cannot solve all the problems. However, we cannot go far without any help from the lawyers. And for us, the lawyers, we should go out to help more people, go into the community, to the countryside, to the school, and to meet the ever-growing demand of the people for the legal services. Just now, when Mr. Zhao is talking, I was thinking too. We can organize the groups of lawyers and groups of doctors. Together, we can contribute to the new development of the country and the countryside. When you are firm in your confidence, then you will see a good result. I believe that those lawyers helping the people can be warmly welcomed by the people. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us in this interview. Now the third group of CPPCC members. Please introduce yourself. I'm from Inner Mongolia, Xilin Guola League. I'm from agriculture sector. Good afternoon. I'm from the beautiful region of Xinjiang. My name is Dili Nar. I'm a CPPCC member. I work in the cultural and artistic area for 45 years. My name is Zhaxi. I'm from Tibet. I'm the teacher for Tibetan letter. Zhaxi means good luck. And now I'd like to give my best wishes of luck to all of you. Now the floor is open for your questions. Please raise your hand.
我是中新社中新网记者，我想向迪丽娜尔委员提问。
I'm from China News Agency. I have a question for Dilinar. As a dancer and also a professional of art, could you please tell us the story of performance in Xinjiang? And as a professional, how could you promote the unity and solidarity between different ethnic groups? Thank you. My artistic life is rooted in the beautiful autonomous region of Xinjiang. Our China Dream mission of sending joy to the people in the grassroots has also been carried out in Xinjiang. For us, the professionals, we have brought to the people the high-quality performances. So these are the spiritual products offered to them. By our performances, the grassroots population can feel what the country has done to meet their demand for a better life. I can recall that we have visited Aksu. In one village, we performed in open air. At that time, it was -9 degrees. It started at 1 p.m. At that moment, many villagers have arrived in this yard as early as 6 a.m. in order to have a place to stay. And the whole yard is finally so crowded. We have invited the local villagers to dance with us and to sing the songs together. It's very enthusiastic, and we feel close to each other. We are wearing the T-shirts and very thin skirts. And because it's so cold, the villagers have given us their heavy clothes. I still remember that in this yard, outside the banners, there's an old couple. They are pushing one wheelchair, upon which is sitting their grandson. We asked them why they didn't come in. And that grandma said, there's no place. But here, even though it's very far, we can still see you. It's already a huge pleasure for us. We are so touched by this thing. We find out that people have still the dream for arts. The population needs art and culture. It is also true the other way around. In the future, we, the artistic professionals, will go more to the grassroots level to serve the people, to learn from the people, and we can also find a great lot of inspirations from this grassroots population so that in the future we can create more good works to serve and contribute to our nation. Dear friends, in Xinjiang, we have abundance of resources and agricultural products. We also have beautiful tourist resources. You're always welcome to come to Xinjiang to pay a visit. Thank you. Thank you. Next question, please. Thank you. I'm from CCTV. I have a question for Jia Xi. Thank you for your best wishes just now. We know that you have newly joined the CPPCC, but you are a very old teacher. You have taught for 30 years in the school. Could you please tell us in what conditions the children are learning and what is the change for the students?
谢谢这位记者的提问。我所任教的这个学校呢
Thank you for your
是1990
question.
年建成的，当时只有8名教师
I'm teaching in a
108
school
名学生移动教学楼
established in
那么现在呢
1990
这里已经有了155
with
名
8
教师
teachers,
2112
one teaching building,
名学生
180
3栋大的教学楼
students.
不仅如此，现代化的教学设施设备
We have 3
一应俱全
buildings now, 155 faculty members, and 1,120 students.
망원 모천시 땅에 탐상 장용머를 지 사콜라 롬녀를 tumchen 레주 땅지 요래 배나 아추 배종라 차잖아 겐렘손지 습주당 나도 로수 배쇼로 낭사 배종전자 소지 서주 랑에다 요래 아 등급 아추 배지 이름 사차 종이난자 향이난자 종초이난자 나 수나야 로다이 칸바토조 야와 제와던가 차유래 하나랑 자용 스르치 로소 의원치 연배 내 예수 먼토네 로수 샤야라 카여 라여체 유반된저예 부제체
国家每年投入大量的资金改善边疆少数民族地区的
The
办学
country
条
has
件
invested a lot each year to improve the schooling conditions. For example, in Tibetan area, the students in the countryside can have free education and free dormitory. And there are also teachers coming from England, China to help with our education. Now, in the grassroots level in Tibet, in villages or the towns or the counties, the best buildings belong to the school. They are the teaching buildings. As someone who works in the education area, in the future, I will continue to work diligently to contribute to the education career of Tibetan Autonomous Region. Thank you for Mr. Jia Xi. Please continue with your
这
questions.
位
Raise your
从上
hand,
移的
please.
女记者提问。
您好，我是内蒙古广播电视台记者，我想提问平巴特委员。
Good afternoon. I'm from Inner Mongolia. I have a question for
要
Bater.
保持加强生态环境保护。
During its delegation to Inner Mongolia, Mr. Xi Jinping has said we should do more efforts to protect the ecosystem.
生态保护和脱贫致富的过程中，已经探索出来一条路子，您能给我们介绍一下
And in
吗？
your place, we know that during the poverty alleviation, you have discovered a very good practice. Could you please say something more about it? Thank you.
嘎查，已经担任嘎查长书记。
In Dachar,
为了让
the place I
更多的
work,
年轻
I've been
的
the party secretary for 40 years.
接好这班
In
领
order
导
to help
我
more
把这个
herders
嘎查书记已经交给
and
我们
graduates
毕业的大学生们。现在
to
您闻
find
到的
their own career,
信息对内蒙
I
古的
have handed
草原生
over
态
this
特别重视，我们也很高兴。
relay
我们愿意把这个草
banner
原
to
生态
the
建设
other
得好
generation
这样
of
呢，我在
students,
村里头
and we'd like to
启动了一个
do a
就是
better job in
远洋
protecting the
中游
ecosystem.
提腿论
We
为了
have
保护好
initiated
更好地保护草场
one
特
action
长的不如做出
with
样子
more
首先
cattle and
我在
less
我们自己
sheep.
家的草场上放牧的时候
Real
把
actions
羊
are
肥
better
卖
than
掉
the empty
改
words.
成养
First
牛
of all, I
这样呢
started with
效益
my
很
own
好
farm. I sold
又
the sheep
让
and I
嘎查
bought
的牧
more
民跟我
cattle.
学习用
In
我们
this
家的
case,
所有财产来
I
抵
have a
押
better income, so the other people, the other herders have followed my
由我来
example.
赔偿
I have used
这样呢
my farm
就是
also
我
as a
们嘎查
mortgage.
02年的时候
And I promised to the other herders, if by doing so they can
到
not
现在呢我
earn
们
more
嘎查
money
人均
than
收入已经
before,
到
then
了
I will pay them
18800元
with that gap.
提高
And
得
now
很快
the per capita
自己做出
income
样子以
is
后呢有很多的牧
11.8
民
thousand
到我们家
yuan.
来进行培训
After setting the example by myself, I find out that a lot of herders have come to my house to get the
讲我自
training.
己怎么做的，讲
Every year, I will share my personal experience to them to tell them how to protect the ecosystem in this grassland area. Every year, we will train more than 10,000 herders. So I myself set the example of the protection of the ecosystem by reducing the number of the sheep and adding up the number of the cattle. In the grassland, now we found more wildlife, for example, the fox and the other animals. In summer, more birds are coming here.
And they relax on the grassland. They breed on the grassland, and in winter they return to the south. I think that we as people living on the grassland in Inner Mongolia, we have the responsibility to make it more beautiful and better preserved. Thank you. Now let's invite the fourth batch of CPPCC members. Now please introduce yourselves. My name is Wang Yanxia. I am a member from the sports sector. I'm from the sports department of the organizing committee of Olympic Winter Games 2022. My name is Yao Ming. I'm from the basketball field of China. Now the floor is open. Thank you. I want to ask CPPCC member Ms. Wang Yanxia, in the government work report of Premier Li Keqiang, it was said that we need to do a very good preparation for the Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games and Paralympic Winter Games. Can you introduce to us how are we progressing with the preparation, and what kind of games are we going to present to the world in 2022? Thank you very much for your question. Beijing 2022 is a major landmark event in China. We will implement the government work report, and we will do a good job in preparing for the Olympic Winter Games. And everybody is concerned about the preparation. And I would like to quote the IOC chairman, Mr. Bach, who said that Beijing's organizing committee has done a terrific job. Each and every detail is very well designed, and this is the way of China's people doing things. China has rich experiences organizing major international events, and we have very invaluable Olympic legacy from Beijing 2008 in terms of the Olympic spirit, venue construction, and also sports organization. All these legacies will be put into best use in 2022. Now the venue construction has begun, and we are preparing for the testing matches, and in summer this year we are going to release the mascots for Olympic Winter Games, and our athletes, they are also working very hard to prepare for the Olympic Winter Games in 2022. It's a very arduous journey going up to the award stage. And for example, in speed skating, in 1992, Ye Qiaobo won the silver award, and he was only 0.02 seconds away from the gold medal. But who could imagine that from the silver medal to gold medal, we took a journey of 22 years. Only with persistence and perseverance can we finally claim the victory. And now I would like to wish that all the athletes in China can have a very good result in 2022. Beijing 2022 will coincide the Chinese Spring Festival. And by that time, all the athletes from the world, they can also experience the Chinese Spring Festival, and they can try make some Chinese dumplings. They can also stick some painted scrolls on both sides of the door, and we are ready to welcome athletes and friends from all over the world in 2022. Let's see each other in Beijing. Thank you. Next question,
这位戴
please.
眼镜的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人，我是澎湃新闻记者，我想提问姚明委员。
Thank you.
您去年的提
I'm
案
with
是希望推动向
Pengpai.
小篮球发展计划。
My question is directed to Yao Ming. Last year, your proposal was to advance the little basketball campaign in primary school. And over the years, we have seen Chinese basketball players in international arena. We also see a lot of primary school students playing little basketballs. Thank you very much for your question. And now, first, I want to reserve a mascot for the Olympic Winter Games when it is released in summer this year. And you have all been showing an interest in basketball, and we have grown a lot, but our work is insufficient. And in my last year's proposal, I proposed that we need to practice little basketball at the primary school level. I believe that it will bring you a different experience, and it also brings a lot of joy, and it can help train the primary school students to gain a basic knowledge and skill about basketball, and it can train people with team spirit. It can help people grow. It can also help cultivate your character. Here I would like to pay special thanks to our colleagues at the sports administration, and over the year we have more than 100,000 kids aged between 6 to 12 registering for this sport, and I believe that this figure can continue to grow in the future years, and it will also help Chinese basketball to grow further. And you talked about how much we have achieved over the year, and this year we face a lot of tasks. We must win our ticket for the Olympic Games, and we need to further popularize little basketball in Chinese schools so that we can lay a solid foundation for our progress in the future. And this year I didn't propose anything. I was mainly focused on following our work that we studied last year. I have to follow our proposal and its implementation year by year so that it can truly become very effective. So thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much to Yao Ming and also to your colleague. Thank you very much. Well, now this is the end of the corridor interview. Thank you very much for your participation. On March the 13th in the morning, we are going to have the third corridor interview. I look forward to seeing you again by then. Thank you very much.